holy shit. That's so amazing. Do you know, God bless you, but that is exactly where I got that from.
Of course it is. Right, I need to preface this by saying that I am a die-hard atheist. I do not believe in any form of deity whatsoever. However, the hen's egg, the chicken egg to be precise, does give me pause and worry about intelligent design, because the egg is such a spectacular thing. It's so bloody useful. It's almost like somebody went, we need to give this species an object that they can do a whole bunch of stuff with. I know, the egg, and it needs to come from a chicken. Let's be very clear. It can't be a duck's egg, and God knows it can't be an ostrich egg. Quail's eggs, they have their uses, but not very many of them. So the egg, for a start, well, you can boil them, you can scramble them, you can fry them, you can poach them. All lovely things. Lovely, lovely things. But then you get down to their utility in cookery. Yeah. Which is a big thing for me. The white is like, we're going to create a substance for you which will bind anything you need it to bind, which you can whip air into and create a whole new substance which has a whole bunch of uses which are brilliant in baking and confectionery. And then you've got the yolk, which is a ready-made fat that can enrich almost anything. I mean, the world with, and I meant to say all due respect to vegans, which is what you say before you show none, isn't it? With all due respect to our vegan friends, the world would be a poorer place without the egg. What a phenomenal soliloquy that was. Straight away my brain thinks, why did the chicken cross the road? Because Jay was making it blush. And secondly, I'm sort of thinking of because I needed its fucking egg. Yeah, or it's a different way of putting it. But I was imagining a waitress with you having ordered a boiled egg, just away with the fairies, thinking about your deities. And I've just got this look, oh fucking hell, he's doing it again. He's looking out the window again. Oh God, it's going to be a long day. Is there a God? yeah. He's like, I don't know. Is there a God? I don't know if there's a fucking God. But just eat your eggs, you chicken eggs. Jesus Christ. The eggs out of chickens. They're the perfect size. You can have soldiers. You can have soldiers. You can have sourdough. Just don't talk to me about God. I've had a tough week, Joe. You can put, they are incredible. I mean, they're incredible. You enrich a bechamel sauce with the yolk. You make brioche is dependent on enriching with yolks. You get to souffles. I mean, you can throw them at a pedo's house. Yeah, you can. Do you know what I mean? You can egg a politician that you don't like. I mean, they're perfectly hand-holdable, aren't they? Yeah. They keep for much longer than people think. You do not need to keep your eggs in the fridge. Apparently, you can balance one on the equinox, but it's got to be the specific moment. Yeah, you're just now repeating episodes of The West Wing. Holy shit! That's so amazing. Do you know? God bless you, but that is exactly where I got that from. Of course it is. CJ... Who knows if it's actually true? Yeah. But that last moment where CJ gets the egg to balance and calls out, and then cut to black. You guys. What is your favourite egg dish? I mean, that's an impossible... Okay. No, it's not really, because only over the past couple of years have I rediscovered the joys of a boiled egg. Okay, yeah. And it's taken me a while to get the timing right. Do you want my a boiled egg timing? So you want 2 eggs in the morning. You don't just want 1. Yep. And the issue is that once your eggs come out of the hot water, they will continue to cook. So 2 eggs into cold water. Yeah. Bring to the boil. You take the second one you're going to eat out after 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and the first one you're going to eat after 2 minutes and 45. Wow, that's so precise. I've obsessed about this for a very long time. And doesn't the king, doesn't he have like 10 cooked? I have absolutely no idea, but if he does, there is an excuse for Republican revolution if ever I heard one. Yeah, there is, absolutely. But that's the only other person I know. His staff, from what I've read, are that precise where they have to have one that's been done for 1:30, one that's been done for 1:45. Just bloody wasteful. I mean, it's also absurd, isn't it? I've given you my numbers, but you are also dealing with a natural product, and they can vary. One of the great things I came across, I've just written a cookbook. Yeah, shameless. No. Look! What's it called? It's called Nights Out at Home. Oh, lovely stuff. And it was basically to mark my 25 years as restaurant critic. Oh, wow. for the Observer, the newspaper I've just left, one of the recipes in those for a Mont Blanc, which is meringue, whipped cream and chestnut puree with a bit of Armagnac through it. The key thing that I learned doing my research on this was from a brilliant chef called Jeremy Lee, who cooked at Quo Vadis. Not all eggs are equal, and one of the problems when you make a meringue is you know it says the whites of 2 eggs whipped and X volume of sugar. No, here's what you do: you weigh the egg whites before you whip them, and then you use exactly double the amount of sugar by weight. So if your 2 egg whites weigh 150 grams, you add 300 grams of sugar, and you've got to be precise about that. You do it in two amounts, sugar halfway through and then at the end fold it in, and that stops any of that syrup leakage you get, because the issue with eggs, they're not equal. They're not an equal weight. Medium, large, extra large, depends who's measuring them.
Have you ever kept chickens?
No. I've always loved it. I wrote a previous book about middle class definitions of food and sustainability, and there was a bit in there about people wanging on about, oh, I love my chickens and I keep chickens, and it's such a great way to get eggs, and it's such a cheap way. The eggs are free. No, the eggs are not free, because you've just spent £1,500 building a hutch in the back of your garden, losing part of your garden, and then you've got 10 chickens that you're terrified are going to be eaten by urban foxes. Every single one of those eggs costs about £6.50. But if it makes you feel better about the world and yourself, if it's good to stare out in the garden at a bunch of very happy chickens, you do you.
Yeah. I regret asking that question.
Surely not.
No, I'm with you. I'm a huge fan, and I've got an 8-month-old son, and he's a big fan of scrambled eggs as well.
Really?
Just loves them. Absolutely loves them. I'd have to say, if I was picking my favourite dish, I'd go an omelette. Love an omelette, all in, and the variety.
But this is the thing, because eggs, egg dishes are many and various. So
your egg is your Roy Keane, and you can build the
rest
of the team.
Is this a footballing metaphor?
Yeah,
because wronged you. Okay. You've just got the wrong one.
Okay. All right. Let me think.
No. Listen, much of your audience will understand what you're talking about, and I'll just zone out until you're done.
But it's the drummer. It's the drummer. Correct. It's the Phil Collins. And I tell you what, if you want the look, the wince then that you gave me, that was like someone who'd had
He's a great drummer.
Yeah.
He looks a bit like an egg.
But the point of making, nice link back. But you start and you can just put anything you want in that omelette, depending on how you're feeling.
And you can make sweet omelettes. You can make souffle omelettes.
Yeah. I can't, but
Well, you can. You whip them up and then you add in the white of an extra, and it becomes very fluffy. And then there's the whole Japanese school of the omelette. And, the eggs turn up in every culinary tradition pretty much, apart from the vegan traditions of southern India. Yes, right.
It must be difficult, to kind of, not be a fan of an egg. It just... it just limits you straight away from
it would be like not being a fan of the weather. It's there. It's a part of the world.
Yeah, I don't like laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there are some. The wee frees don't laugh much.
The who's?
The wee frees, the very Presbyterian Scottish church. I don't think they hold much with laughing.
Well, apparently the Dutch don't, but I've been there recently and they have a laugh.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Are you basically telling us your gig went down a storm?
It was fine. Yeah, it was good.
Did you do it in Dutch, Russell?
My mum asked that question.
Did she?
Yeah. No, the only Dutch word I learnt while I was there was miranuka. And miranuka, we say nitpicker. They say antfucker. So that's the sort of translation. So if someone's overly pernickety, the Dutch call them an antfucker.
Tells you a lot about the Dutch, that, doesn't it?
Certainly
but their
does.
idea of being a pedant is someone who is trying to have congress with one of the smallest insects on the planet.
This is the point I made. If I saw someone in the office who was balls deep in an insect, my first thought wouldn't be, what a perfectionist.
Mine would be, how very ambitious.
I'd just call HR and say, yo, Hans, doing it again.
Yeah.